Let's start ranking. What are your top three and what are your bottom three? I'll tell you right off the bat who my top three are. I think they're pretty obvious. Number one is Donald Trump. I know that's controversial. I know his second term isn't finished yet, but I was impressed what he did in his first term until he was railroaded by the left. I thought he did a fantastic job. You cannot blame him for COVID, nor could you blame Biden for COVID. I don't like the way they handled it in the Biden administration with strict regulations and masks and distancing and all that BS, travel, all those things they did. They ran it as a big brother program. But he's my number one. I like what he's doing. I like that he's accomplishing things. I have voted for him each and every time, and I would vote for him in 2028 if I could. Number two, it's a tight one, but I would have to say, just for the fact that he had a lot longer time to get things done, was Ronald Reagan. What he did with the Cold War and the Berlin Wall and his tough stance. People respect that. People respect strength. So he was my number two. And even though he served a very short time, and I'm sure he did some things behind the curtains, he was a womanizer. But as far as charismatic and a get things done guy, again, peace through strength. He was a strong JFK. And those are my top three. Where do you stand on the top three?
No question, Ronald Reagan is number one. The only criticism of him is about the deficits, but the deficits bankrupted the Soviet Union and gave us lasting peace. You can't overstate that enough. What did happen actually is after we busted up the Soviet Union, there was a peace dividend and we got our finances in order. That happened under Clinton and he took advantage of that. So I'm going to rank that accordingly, but definitely Reagan's number one. Number two, he gets a raw deal, and that's the first George Bush. He was a really good president. He handled the first Persian Gulf War flawlessly. He had a 90-something% approval rating at one point in time, but then the economy fell off the wheels at the very end. I don't think that was necessarily his fault. I think there was some systematic issues that caused that. And what kneecapped him was Ross Perot. I think he would have had a really good, strong second term. I think he'd be considered more favorably in history if he had been given a full 8 years. He was really strong on foreign affairs. He helped transition after the Soviet Union fell. That all happened under his watch, even though I think Reagan's the one that really should be given the most credit. But Bush didn't mess it up. So he's number two. And number three, Donald Trump, and he secured our border and all the things that we talk about on this podcast. I'm going to give him the solid number three position.
Those are solid. Now, why don't you do your bottom three, and then I'll do mine.
The worst is Biden. There's no question. For all the reasons I gave before, he really wasn't even president. It's sad. Maybe he would have been more effective if he had been 20 years younger, but he wasn't. So he's the worst. And then the second worst would be Carter. He was very weak. It took Ronald Reagan to make people feel good about our country again. Our country felt like crap when Carter was president. So he's a strong number two. And then Nixon did some good things, but what he did illegally was pretty bad, and he was a crook. So I'm going to have to put him third worst. If he wouldn't have done the Watergate thing, he might have been third best.